Today we're going to highlight and talk about the last stage of grief, which is the one that we all want to get to, and is really it's not so much a stage of grief, but it's the stage that all the other stages kind of get us to, and that is acceptance. Acceptance is when you're able to go from denial, anger, bargaining, depression into this place where you understand reality, but you have the peace and the desire to move into thriving and growing and really just leaving behind the incident or the thing that brought you the grief in the onset. It's really acceptance is really closure, being able to shut the door on a lot of the feelings and emotions and thoughts that go along with what you've lost, and being able to really jump into a new stage of your life or a new place in your life. And there's really not a lot that you do here, except you have to stay consistent. That's really the only principle that comes with the stage of acceptance, because you're going to start to feel a little bit of peace. You're going to start to feel like, okay, everything's going to be okay, and you might let down your persistence a little bit and kind of get relaxed a little bit. And even though enjoying the peace and resting in peace and finding rest, not just for your body but for your mind, it is important, and you can do that. But you also have to be vigilant. You have to be disciplined and understand that just because your emotions feel different doesn't mean that you still don't have some of the same weaknesses or the same struggles that you've had in the past. They might still show up. They might still come up one day. Doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you have to go all the way back to the beginning. It just means that sometimes in this stage you're going to have snippets of or certain days maybe where a thought will come in, and you have to still be aware that could happen, and knowing. But at this point, the difference between the stage of acceptance and it happening in a previous stage is that now you're equipped with necessary tools and knowledge to not fall prey to it and not fall back into a cycle. Now you have the tools that you need to deal with it right there head on, and do what you got to do, whether it be difficult, whether it take a little while, whatever it is. Do what you have to do and be able to move forward and continue to move forward. So what that looks like is that you might still have moments of denial. You might still have moments of anger. You might still have moments of bargaining. You might still have moments of depression. But when it comes to this stage of acceptance, that's all they are moments. You don't have to get stuck in the cycle that just continues over and over. You don't have to be a slave to any of these things. You don't have to be controlled by any of them. In this stage, you have come through the growing process or the healing process in a sense, and what's happening now is you're stronger, you're better, you're wiser, but you might not be 100% yet. So you take it slow, and you begin to step back into things that maybe you have been afraid to step into in the past. Maybe the loss has crippled you in the sense that you have a lot of insecurities, or maybe it caused you to have some doubt, or there's a lot of things that go along with it. And so take it slow. Understand that you have time to grow. You have time to heal. You have time to give yourself the grace to do this and do it right and do it fully and do it with God on your side and Him strengthening you. So I guess the main thing in this stage is just knowing that it's not going to be perfection. It's never going to be perfection. It's never going to be wrapped up in a little box with a bow on it and just beautiful, and it's just going to be like, okay, here's the end, and you're done. No, that's not the way life works. We're humans. We have memories. We have thoughts. We have weaknesses. We have struggles. We have tendencies, and the key is not to eradicate those, because we can't. The key is to become strong enough and to build up our wisdom and our understanding and our tools to be able to win when we come in contact with those things, when we deal with those problems, is to not be sucked into them, but to come out and conquer them. That's the goal. So that is true with spiritual things. It's true with emotional things. It's true with relationships. It's true on all kind of different levels. The key is not perfection, because we're not going to reach perfection. The key is maturity. The key is growth. The key is every day I'm reaching for a new step and a new place. But I want to make sure that before I move on, I learn what I need to learn and build up what I need to build up in this stage. So it's really an exciting stage. It's a lot of hope, a lot of strength, a lot of relief, a lot of peace, but also a lot of challenges. It's almost a test to see if what you've learned and the tools that you have really work. And you just begin to use those. And the more you do it, the stronger you get. The more you accept that all these things, like accepting that you have unwanted emotions, accepting the need to forgive, accepting the need to release control, and accepting the need to discovering your purpose. When you begin to accept all of these things, you begin to grow and you begin to become the person that God wants you to become. So I end this whole discussion about the stages of grief by letting you know that the reason I believe this is so important is because it's something that you will probably need to use at a lot of different stages of your life. Anytime you go through a loss, no matter how small or how big it is, all of this still applies. It's all still true. No matter who you are, no matter your culture, no matter your background, no matter what you believe or what you don't believe, these things remain true. And they will help you, and they do work. And the reason I know that is because I've used them. I've done this. I wouldn't tell you something and give you something as a tool that I have not used myself and that I do not believe that it worked. So I believe in this, and I stand on it, not only from a biblical and a godly perspective, but from a psychological perspective and just a human perspective. These things work. And so I encourage you as you go through, if you are dealing with grief and you're dealing with loss, I encourage you as you go through this process. And just know, it probably won't be the last time you have to go through it. But there does come an end to that particular loss. And you will be able to recover from that particular loss. And there is peace. And there is strength. And there's hope. There's always hope. No matter what your circumstances are, no matter what you've done, no matter what you've lost, no matter what's been done to you, there is hope. There's always hope. As long as there's breath, there's hope. So find your hope today. Find your purpose. Reach for more. And know that you're not doing it alone. God is with you. You have people around you that care about you, that love you. And I'm here as a testimony to let you know you haven't walked this journey by yourself. And I wish you the very best. And I pray all kind of blessings and strength on your life.